A couple of weeks ago, I went over a situation involving gooseworx and some of the amazing digital circus content farm stuff that was going on. As times progressed, I found more and more examples of channels perpetuating this problem, which I want to go over in this video. I'll go through some of the worst offenders and give some summarizing thoughts at the end. As always, if you do enjoy these kinds of breakdowns, be sure to subscribe to keep up to date. Anyway, moving into today's video. Over the last few months, gooseworx has made their opinion on content farms pretty clear, which I covered in a previous video. To summarize, she was sick of getting sent the content farm videos and seeing the alternate version of Jax being sent around because of its origins, obviously being from Hornstrump. Fans were divided on the issue, since they thought gooseworx might have had an issue with people drawing it, but it was actually just where the character came from that bothered her. Moving into the channels themselves, the first main offender is the largest of the few and is also one I previously covered in the gooseworx video, which is Hornstrump Fingers. For those who might not know who or what they are, it's basically a channel that jumps from current trend to current trend, making animations surrounding whatever topic is popular. Just in recent times, they've jumped between garten, banban, poppy playtime, and the now most popular The Amazing Digital Circus. It seems like they also created an alternate channel called Cartoon Games to also spam out this content onto as well. The voice actors and animation are pretty much the same, it just seems like they're trying to add another farm channel to their already long list. With The Amazing Digital Circus being their current cash cow, every episode they produce sits around 60 minutes with a new upload coming out every few days. The quality is quite something, and it gives you an idea of how they're able to upload so frequently. The voice acting is pretty horrendous, and the script they read off is even worse. I'm pretty surprised they've managed to maintain an audience given how simplistic it all is, but that's just probably due to the age demographic I imagine will be watching it. I will admit, however, while Hornstrump is the biggest, it's not actually the worst of the few I'll be discussing today. The next major content farm goes by the name of Circus Theory. At first glance, you'd think they make theory and speculation videos about what might happen in later episodes, but unfortunately that's not the case. Every video you can see hits the 8-minute mark for the mid-rolls and doesn't really provide the content to justify it at all. Every video pretty much starts off with the premise of the title and devolves into random descriptions of scenes that don't really relate to what they're discussing. Most of these are almost comical with how blatant they are, just creating incoherent slop to hit the 8-minute mark. Ushi is another clear example of this, who is just capitalizing on the same weird sibling genderment content that doesn't really make any sense at all. It's also pretty surprising how common this kind of content is within this community specifically. Even within other communities like Murder Drones, Hasman Hotel, and Hell of a Boss, there's not really this kind of content being spread around this much. It just seems like a very weird trend to me. Another channel that gooseworx ended up noticing is called Circus Master, which follows the same kind of format as all the others, spam uploading the same regurgitated 8-minute videos about pretty much nothing. The initial tweet talking about this posted a screenshot of his video with the caption, "You've got to be kidding me." Underneath, gooseworx replied saying, "Welcome to the iceberg," very clearly being fed up with this kind of content. Later on, the same user also found another video from another content farm talking about Gooby again. They said, "I like how the information from that one video has been regurgitated and swapped around so many times now, that the official consensus from these channels is that Gooby is supposed to be Jax's sister, which has never been the case." gooseworx also responded, "I guess I have to find a way to reference Gooby in the actual show now. This pretty much shows how unfounded these channels are, if they think they have more info about the show than the actual creator." It is funny that all this may have also inspired gooseworx to add Gooby in some way, which would be pretty funny to see. One interesting aspect about some of these channels is their use of AI voices. It just adds another layer of how little effort they're actually willing to put in. I'd also be willing to bet at least a few of these guys are related to each other in some way, if not the same person. It's all the same format, script style, and content, with them all pretty much starting their channels around the same time. When you're watching all of these, it's like they've been written by ChatGPT, ready to be farmed out at a moment's notice. It really becomes noticeable when whatever the AI is reading off of has repeated grammar problems and it sounds like it hasn't been checked over at all. A good example of two other content farm channels that do this pretty consistently are Amadisi and Databeo Circus. Both of these channels seem to spam out the same misleading clickbait with little to no substance over and over. I actually get confused when looking at all these channels, they might as well just all be the same. Overall, I can understand why gooseworx has such a big issue with these channels. They're creatively bankrupt and provide nothing to the fandom at all. These channels only exist to spread false information and lies regarding the show. If you spend any amount of time watching these videos, it'll be pretty clear just how low effort and stretched out everything really is. Anyway, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to subscribe and let me know what you think about these channels down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.